Me, I'm more I don't like to sit down. Look at the size of this. This is fantastic. Amazing.
Go on your forwards.
Mind-blowing, isn't it? Absolutely mind-blowing. Here we are. Just got to come and do it now, boys.
Yeah, well, we didn't do it, did we? Anyway, welcome back to BlueTube on YouTube, where we will be discussing what happened at Wembley in that little game that we had to go to, although we didn't really want to, did we? Against Peterborough.
It's a change of tune from you, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it didn't go to plan, did it? But we've had a massive season. Let's try and G ourselves up a little bit now, because
right.
I came back yesterday. This is the day after the night before, and yeah, I was gutted, but Ben couldn't make it. So as you might see on some of our clips, Jordan, my nephew, Ben's cousin, came along, filled the boots of Ben, and everything was going too well.
Yeah.
We made fantastic time getting down there. Everything went smoothly. The sun was shining. Nice trip down, pipping the cars with the blue flags and the coaches. It just felt brilliant. The build-up, the buzz. I had a couple of beers.
The atmosphere, the blues.
Couldn't get in the green, man. I was going to meet some of the other lads down there. It was absolutely hectic.
Rammed, as was the stadium. The atmosphere down there
fantastic.
certainly brought the fans.
Oh.
So many Blues fans. And if you had a look at the top tier, it went further than the halfway point, which, you know,
Yeah, we
you're
had
supposed to be
more
cut
fans
off.
in the top tier over the Peterborough fans, and saying it was a sellout. What was going on there? We could have filled that place up. We could have, and there was thousands on the waiting list for it.
Well,
anyway.
Well, just quickly on the waiting list, actually, because that is quite interesting. What did you say? There was 20-odd thousand on the waiting list.
I was listening to TalkSport yesterday, and apparently they did an interview with Barry Fry. Yeah, I love Barry Fry, I do. No, I don't really. 27,000.
Wow, interesting.
That's what it said on there. I don't know how true that is.
Fascinating, that.
That's what they said. But you imagine all the people that, mind you, it's probably a good job you didn't go. We didn't really show. We'll get onto the game in a bit, but no, it was just such a shame, wasn't it? Everything was in place, and then it started raining right before kick-off, didn't it? And I was thinking, oh, this is not a good sign, is it? But that could have been both teams. But everything was just geared up for a fantastic end to the season. We've still got 6 games to go, though, of the league. We just got to smash everyone now. We've got Crawley on Friday, Good Friday, 3 o'clock kick-off. We've really got to make up for it.
I'm kind of wishing that I did say it now, because I didn't want to be too negative. I felt like in the video leading up to Wembley, I was a bit too negative in various aspects of that little chat. Mainly because I was a bit bitter about not being able to go down there, you know, because I was preoccupied with some other plans. And but one thing that I was worried about is we had too much come too quick. Promotion, then was made champions without even playing, and you know, all on the champagne, and no problem with that. Enjoy it. Got promoted back up to the championship. What a wonderful thing to do. First time I've tried it, and absolutely celebrate it. But when you've got a final coming up as your next game, is more of that complacency just going to creep in? And I think that it was evident yesterday, wasn't it? Because we weren't ourselves. I don't think it was a case of nerves. I don't think the occasion in of itself got to us.
I think it did. I think what you've got to remember is, and we all forget this, we think that these players, we think that they're not people like us. And the occasions and the emotions. I mean, these guys, a lot of them haven't won a thing. They've just like been made champions of League One. They're going up to the Championship, which is a massive feat for them.
Lot to take in, yeah.
And emotionally, they're probably drained. They've got promotion against Peterborough on Tuesday. Then the next couple of days, they know they're champions, and they've got to go out and perform. Now, emotionally, that's a massive thing to ask. I know I'm trying to make excuses for them, but I stand by that, and I am gutted. But I do think that there's something in that, to be honest with you.
They're going to hate that I'm going to make them aware of this, but I've thought about it, so now I'm going to burden you with it as well. I hate how we've been made champions of the division because of that Wrexham result against Wigan. But before we've got a chance to see the team in the flesh and enjoy that, we've had a final where we've lost.
I know.
So it does sort of...
Just got to get it out of the system.
But do you know what? A positive, though, that we can talk about, Blues fans, is I think that this could somewhat be a blessing in disguise. And I thought this anyway. I think Troy Deeney touched on it a little bit when he was doing the coverage of the game. We don't want to go into the championship thinking that we can win everything
Top
and,
dogs,
and
yeah,
everything's
like, yeah.
ablaze, and you know, it's fine and nothing can shirk us. We need a bit of a humbling, and that game was that. That we do
That
have to
is
fight.
a
We
very,
do have
very
to
good
battle.
point. That's a massive point.
And
that
not
is.
everything's
Yeah.
going to be sunshine and rainbows, because the championship, undoubtedly, there's going to be some hard times, hard weeks, tough games in the championship.
Yeah.
We've struggled in that division for however long it's been, decade or more. So to bring
Yeah.
us back down to earth a little bit as a squad, as a new squad that's, you know, just used to seemingly winning and sailing in the division, I think it could be a good thing, and yeah, a bit of a positive to take from it, I suppose. I know that I'm reaching potentially
Well,
there a little bit.
and the other thing is, and we've got to look on what we have got now. You imagine if we'd be just like heading for the playoffs and we've got all that to do, or outside the playoffs. We're champions. We're promoted. We're going up. Let's turn out. We've still got games to go. It's not like that was the last game of the season. We've got to wait till next year now. Imagine that. Imagine it was like the FA Cup final would be something totally different, but could you imagine having to go until like your pre-season friendlies now, no football? We've still got 6 league games to
good
go.
point.
So
Yeah.
we can enjoy. We got a points record to go and get now.
Yeah.
Let's go and get that points record and show them. Yeah, we've had a downer. Let's move on. Let's smash the points record and put our name on something else instead. Not some tin pot trophy. He wanted that anyway. I didn't want it. 30.
Well, we're also now, the players need to realise they're also playing for the pride of playing for Birmingham City. And do you know what this could also be? This could really be a good opportunity for Chris Davis to hone in and see the players' mettle. What are they made of? What are their characters really like?
Yeah.
Are they going to bounce back? What are their characters actually made of? You know, it's going to sunken them mentally.
Well, should we? I mean, we don't want to dwell on it too much. What went wrong yesterday? Was it literally just that we didn't show up? Because did everybody not show up? There's a few players on there that
Keshi
haven't been
Anderson
showing
for
up
me
the
was a decent player. I just felt like it was kind of the story of our season. I mean, first of all, let's give credit to Peterborough. That game against us that they had on Tuesday, although they lost, that was perfect for them. I feel like it gave them the homework that they needed.
Their
to
other
figure us
player,
out.
the one that wore the other colour top, the yellow top, Speedy was it? He had some good involvement in the game, didn't
Yeah,
he?
the referee was atrocious. Not to go on about the
Do
referee.
you know what
but it was
though?
poor.
Looking back at the highlights again today, for both teams, more for us. I mean, they could have had a penalty.
bottled big
couldn't they?
decisions,
He
yeah.
bottled some massive decisions.
bottled big
And I
decisions.
said it before. I'll say it again. If you're going to have any final, you've got to have a decent ref.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to find one. Probably not in
Well,
this country.
if we're going to be totally honest and fair, one of the big decisions was, and you might disagree with me on this, Blues fans, but it's how I saw the game. They should have had a penalty when they were through on goal.
yeah, we probably should have had two.
They could have made it 3-0, and Pate just blatantly just clipped the back of their heel.
God,
as
it's
they were,
what ifs? What ifs?
it's always the way, isn't
It
it?
is, isn't
in-
it? We've got to
in
get it
big
out of the
games.
system. Hopefully, getting it out of the system for a few other people out there. But I tell you what, the occasion was lovely. It was an absolutely fantastic day. As you can see from that clip that we started with, that was my first time at New Wembley. It's been years since I've been down at Wembley. It was the old Wembley. And it took my breath away. I mean, it's a fantastic
Yeah,
place
it's
to
a
go
wonderful
into.
stadium.
I was listening to, I can't remember if it was on TalkSport or on the way down, or if it was on Sky, but one of the football commentators going on about, it's surprising how small Wembley is actually when you get inside. And you walk in, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, it's huge. So I don't know where it's coming from, but it is. You realise how massive it is. Where we stood, we were quite low down. We had some good seats. Ben sorted the seats. I was chuffed a bit. And then when you realise it starts filling up the top tier over there, and you're looking, there's like ants moving about. And you're like, oh my God, there's people up there. And it's just, and I'm not good with heights. I like watching them. And you realise how vast it is. But it's like being in a room. I mean, the roof wasn't shut or anything, but it's just huge.
Yeah, getting
What a
golfed by
place!
it all, don't
What
you?
a place!
Yeah.
And those players will have a taste now. They'll push on for something else next year. Just be big and just come
Absolutely.
on, Blues.
Gives
Push
us
on.
an idea of what sort of atmosphere we can expect this
The
new
fans,
stadium.
the Blues fans yesterday, and I'm not just saying this because we've got our little podcast going. The fans yesterday were absolutely fantastic. The noise was brilliant. Buzzing all the way through, and we kept on singing right up until that last 11 minutes that was added on. And yeah, it was disappointing, but we
carry
should
on,
be
don't
proud
we?
of ourselves.
Yeah,
What we did,
100%.
we showed up as fans yesterday. Okay, the team were worn out physically, emotionally,
Yeah.
but do you know what? We do push them on. We do
Yeah.
push them on. It was just one of them days today. It's write it off.
Absolutely.
And like I say, like I've said a few times now, let's move on.
Can't let this take away from our season because it has been an absolutely fantastic season. So,
Yes, indeed.
but there are some, and I do want to touch on this because you're speaking about things and just getting it out, just having our little moment to rant about it. I suppose it would have been nice if it could have at least been 2-1, and that Duke effort had just have found its way into the roof of the net, and without that keeper making what was an absolutely incredible save.
Worldy save, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then Jay's as well being offside. Oh, I felt so. I mean, we were up in the air, and then just to see that flag. Oh, it's
That
horrible,
was the
isn't it?
one thing I was
Just
saying.
a goal would have been nice, wouldn't it? Just a goal.
Yeah, I was saying it to Ali because I did manage to watch the game on telly or be on TV, not being able to soak in the atmosphere. I would have loved it for the Blues fans down there if they would have just been able to cheer a goal.
Even, I was watching Blues Focus. Tommy did his vlog down there, and in the end, I could just hear him saying, "Just a goal," and it would have meant the world to us just to get a goal at the end and make it like an interesting last few minutes as well. Yeah, at least you can say, "Oh well, we battled and we tried to pull it back," but
We can't
wasn't to be.
We can't continue to play like that and get to the attacking third and have those sorts of moments in the Championship.
Well, it shows what do we need to do for next year now.
So I was going to ask you, where do we improve here, Dad? Because I don't think
we need to, don't we?
I
We
don't-
need depth.
I-
We need competition for those places. We need someone that knows where the net is. I know Jay's going to come good. Alfie May is. We've got to give him a go in the Championship next year.
Well, it's Jay not getting service properly, and that's something that we can talk about for a while because there's many games where that's been a factor. Alfie Mate's the exact same. Where do we improve? Because I know.
Well,
that
I'll
we
tell you
talk
what
about
happened yesterday that
needing a
I
forward.
noticed, and I noticed this live while I was watching the game, is we were trying to all be heroes. And you mentioned that Kishi had a great game, which he did. Not as good as he normally would. I thought he was 75%
Well,
of his
a lot
normal.
of players lashed at it, didn't they?
But do you know when they got into good positions,
Yeah.
they were going for goal
Yeah.
instead of. And do you remember earlier in the season when Chris Davis was on about, we haven't got those greedy players, we've got those team sort of balanced players where the thought process is find a man. We didn't do any of that yesterday, and we haven't done that for a little while. Keisha got in some cracking positions where Alfie May on the one time was square with him and running in, and instead he put it about 400 yards over the top of Wembley Arch, I think it was. And
Well, actually landed in our garden.
and I
so
don't
there,
want to
look.
knock. I don't want to. Where? I don't want to knock Kieran Dowell either because he played well.
Don't knock
But
any player.
Every time he got a chance, like in front of
No,
when we got
yeah.
players open, he was trying. Like some of the free kicks, he was going for goal.
Oh,
and it was
you
like-
just
the
reminded
one the
me.
keeper just like caught it like that. So it's
Oh,
just like,
that
thanks,
did my
mate.
head in, that did.
Yeah, it was
when
doing
he had
everyone's
the
head in that.
right
was.
by the byline.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, just drill it into the box.
Yeah,
Right at the
but,
keeper.
you know,
Both
hopefully
times.
we learn from that and
Yeah.
and we move on. And I think if anyone, Davis will be noticing that, and
And
Davis will be relaying
he's
that.
good on set pieces. He's
Yeah.
good with his delivery as well. And he wastes
Everyone wanted
it.
to be that hero yesterday, didn't
Yeah.
they?
Wanted to get
I
a
mean,
goal down
let's-
Wembley.
Like you say, not Peterborough. Peterborough scored two absolute
Pearlers.
worldy goals
Yeah.
again, didn't they? And if you're going to win a final, if you're going to,
Yeah, what a way to win it.
yeah, you're going to score goals
Can't
like that to
do
win it, aren't you?
anything. About that first
Let's
goal.
just sign up those two players now.
Well, they just talk about the poke. Oh, it's by the buyers. I'm not even going to get into it.
No, let's mention it. Talk of Poku coming, isn't there? There's lots of rumours. I mean, we'll do a few
His
rumour
celebration
videos
was
over the
odd.
summer, won't we? Yeah.
His celebration was odd when they scored that goal against us in the game on Tuesday. Yeah,
A few people have mentioned that.
I don't want to get into it too much because rumours and things and is it this, is it that? Analysing things that just aren't really there.
It's
Whatever
probably
happens,
him
happens.
trying to force a move. He's thinking, oh, yeah, maybe.
But you know what? I don't think that we're the same club as we have been, and we know this over the past decade or so, or for a very long time anyway. People want to come to Birmingham City now,
Yeah.
as opposed to just having to
Yeah.
scrape the bottom of the barrel and get players that are on the market.
Well, if you
No
come
one
to
wants
Birmingham,
them.
bring some black sacks. There's no bin men at the moment.
I wondered where you were going with that then. That's terrible. Right, well, I don't want to get into slating players. We can all have our bad performances, but Dad, what are we going to do about Willem Williamson?
Oh, no. Do you know what, though? The first 10, 15 minutes, maybe, I thought, oh, he's turning it on again now. And then I think there was a couple of bad touches. Well, there was a few bad touches from not just him either. But then he just like dropped his head again.
His
And it's
confidence is gone.
What?
It's
Why?
gone. Yeah.
The guy,
He's struggling.
he's struggling, but we know he's got it.
Yeah.
And what a stage to do it on. He just fell apart for me. And I was glad when he went off, and I wouldn't say that about many. Well, I mean, obviously.
Well, because of
had a
Alfie
bad
May
game.
coming on, I'd like to argue
Yeah.
as well. Bringing Alfie May on.
Well, I was excited when we had that change at half time, and I thought, here we go, this is it. And if you remember back at St Andrews earlier in the season, exactly the same situation with 2-0 down, weren't we, at half time, and beat them 3-2. It was just too much to ask for, wasn't it? I mean, if anything, that was probably more of a warm up for them. Right, we've been 2-0 up against these before. Let's knock that up. That was his team talk. He probably didn't have to say a word, Ferguson, in the Peterborough dressing room. So, well, we know where we've been before, lads.
Exactly.
They can score 3 goals. Yeah. Make sure that doesn't happen. I'll tell you where I thought they were really strong, and I knew they were going to be because they've done it before, and it meant it played out in the semis against Wrexham for them. That left-hand side, they break so fast down the left. Gave Ethan Laird a run for his money. I can't remember his name now. That left winger. Yes, it was Odu.
Forgive me if I'm getting that wrong.
Well, he was the one that was clipped, wasn't he, for the penalty? He should have probably had a penalty.
Yeah,
He was just about to pull the trigger, wasn't he? And Pate it wasn't like deliberate, but just in the challenge.
He just took him off his shot, didn't he?
Took an air shot, didn't he?
And wouldn't have made a difference.
The ref had the whistle to his mouth, didn't he?
Yeah, it was quite odd, really.
Yeah.
The referee didn't have a good game for both teams. I don't think. I think looking at the game as a whole and not the big decisions, which sounds quite odd to say, but there were some blatant, like, small fouls. It dotted around the pitch, and he just didn't pick up on them for us. And that was really frustrating to see. I think the occasion might have even got to the referee, being at Wembley and just...
That's why you need a big name. That's why you need
potentially.
someone with the experience. Cause
I see both sides of it, though. You talk about a big game.
this guy, we've looked at his stats. He's never done anything special in his life.
I know what you mean.
Apart
Getting
from annoy a lot of people, which people like him tend to do, don't they? If you're going to be a ref, you want to annoy people. I've done reffing, so if you're going to start moaning, I've been a ref in the past. You can tell, can't you?
Yeah, you love to gripe about them, don't you? But
Yeah.
no, there's nothing that we can control as far as that's concerned. Credit to Peterborough where it's due. We didn't show up, but do you know what? Bite the bullet with it.
Yeah, well
We're
done,
champions.
Peterborough. Well done, Peterborough.
We've got promoted. We're going back to the championship. I think now we can learn a lot from this performance. We've got Wembley experience now.
Yeah, like I say,
the big
well done
stage.
to Peterborough. Just like it's nice, but where are you going to be next year? Just saying.
You're not bitter at all, are you?
No, we're in the
But
championship.
do you know,
I'm
do you know what else I did?
I'm only
I don't even know if I should say that this is a positive thing. I mean, of course, it's not given the circumstances, but I love seeing it because when are you ever going to see this from another owner? When the Blues players went up to get their medal, obviously Tom Wagner, Tom Brady, Jeremy Dale, all of the board were there, to console them on their loss, and he gave them just a bit of a pep talk.
Do you know what people have been moaning about that?
You're having a laugh.
Saying it's not the right place. But do you know what? It
That's a joke. Absolutely
is. Because if it didn't make the players feel better, it made me feel better.
Yeah,
Seeing
definitely.
that.
Yeah.
Seeing that, I was like, oh,
The
fair
passion
play.
cares.
Who? I know emotion gets... And people react differently. But who could be like, oh, it's not the right place to do that. But it makes so many people... Do you know what? Fair play. That getting involved. And the players, the way they were just like on every word, hanging on every word.
Absolutely, you
weren't
could
they?
see that 100%.
So for me it was a
Totally
great thing to do.
disagree with it being in the wrong
and again,
place.
like I'm not going to go on about thanking everyone again because but everyone that's been behind the scenes at Blues, well done to all of them. And unlucky yesterday.
Yeah, definitely.
It was probably what's the old saying? A bridge too far, wasn't it? We've done so much this season, mentally drained, but just 6 more games to go out and win all of them.
Well, this is football, isn't it? You win some, you lose some. Joys and sorrows, as we always say.
Yeah.
But
And we've got the Easter weekend to come, so that should be quite exciting. See what I did there?
I think we can end it there then. So just 20 minutes or so. I think that's all right. Is there anything else that we can touch upon?
No, just I think we'll bounce back. We're not going to do any predictions. Are we going to try and do a Crawley preview Wednesday? Get a preview. Yeah, I'll get that one
Yeah,
sorted.
we can do that. It's Monday now. We can do that on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll get you some really exciting facts.
Oh, you've already done that. Can't do it again.
Okay. We don't want to go like too far. We want to give you chuck a lot of decisions and things. That's terrible, isn't it? Sorry.
It's just
You can tell it's not scripted, can't you?
It's just awful. Jesus.
It's like, I don't think people.
See,
would be
this is
turning
why
off. They'd
we've
be
slowed down as a
smashing their
channel, this
laptops
is.
and computers, weren't
Yeah,
they?
this is why people have turned off. I mean, everyone's gone now anyway, so don't worry about it.
Exactly. I'm not
But-
talking to anyone.
Let us know your thoughts, actually, Blues fans, for those of you that are still here after whatever that was. Not the result that we wanted. Did we deserve it?
No.
But, all right, well, that's that answered then. But as always, guys, thank you for tuning in. And yeah, like I say, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as well, and all that, malarkey and whatever. We'll see you on the next one. At least we've got a chance to bounce back on Friday against Crawley, where we can at least celebrate it now, because we are champions of the division, and that is certainly something to be proud of. It's important that we don't forget that. See you later, Blue Noses. Take care of yourselves.